our strength component, what we're going to work on is pull-ups, which is also an activity that requires a lot of core strength and stability, a lot of mobility, especially in the shoulders. And we're going to just do a few things to warm us up to pull-ups. And if you can't quite do a free-hanging pull-up, we'll show you how to use bands in order to assist you for pull-ups. And if that's a little struggle for you or equipment is not available, we can always do some rowing instead in order to get a similar motion in the shoulder blades and get them opened up and strong at the same time. So what we're going to get started with is we're going to start hanging. And if you have a doorway, you have a railing, anything that's above your head that you can grip your fingers on, that's good enough for this drill. And all you're going to do is let your feet hang on the floor. You can put as much weight on your legs as you need to, and just start to sink your weight so your shoulders come up towards your ears and your hips fall down towards the ground. You're also working on your grip, keeping the hands really wrapped over your anchor. And if you don't quite have a bar and you have fingers, that's fine too. Just make sure you get as good a grip as you can, sinking your hips down and allowing the shoulder blades, these little bones along your backs of your ribs that slide up and down and around, let them come up towards your ears as best as you can, getting a nice stretch underneath your arms into the lat area, also along your ribs, but also into the front side of your pecs and also into your abdominals. And you don't have to spend too long, just about 30 seconds to a minute. You can change up the motions a little bit. If you feel a little more advanced and you want a little more weight, you can always do this free hanging. So your feet don't have to be on the floor. You can always float them off and get your full body weight into the stretch. And you're also really working on your grip in your forearms and in your palms and your wrist. Good. If you had some time there, relax, shake it out. Let the blood flow back to your fingers. And then we're going to go on to our first drill, the first exercise here, which is called a scapular pull-up. It's basically trying to do a pull-up or a row without bending your elbows. So when you bend your elbows, you use your biceps quite a bit, you use more of your deltoids. Here, with a straight arm pull-up or a straight arm row, we're doing nothing but scapular movement, working on depression and retraction of the shoulder blades. You can do this hanging, which is difficult. You can do this assisted with your legs on the ground using a bar. You can also use handles, but I'll demonstrate using the rings here. Holding on, overhand grip. Sink down, get your full body weight into the picture. And again, if you need assistance, just use your legs. Same thing. But if you want a little more oomph, you can do it free hanging. Straight arms, nice strong grip. Imagine yourself pulling your chest to your hands without bending your elbows. And you'll go as high as you can. And then release back down. A couple more times, pulling up. Try to pull up hard, squeeze back of your shoulder blades, and come back down. We'll do it one more time. Pull up, hold, and come back down. Not too many repetitions there, just 3 to 5 at a time, because it's a pretty hard activity. Even if you're doing it with assistance, like your leg on the floor, all we're doing is trying to develop a little bit of mind-muscle connection, getting us warmed up for pull-ups. We don't want this to be our workout. We want this to be a warm-up. Okay, in between those exercises, we're going to superset it. So while you're resting from that, we'll still get some work going. Doing an external rotation. External rotation is pretty necessary for any sort of pull-up or push-up maneuver because you want to have your shoulders open up in order to get up to your bar or up to where your anchor is, regardless if it's a row, a pull-up. External rotation is going to help with that. We'll use a band to help strengthen our external rotators. I have this hooked to the ladder with a loop and this TRX handle that is made just to go over resistance bands of this type. Using it as a handle, what I'm going to do is pin my elbow to my side, posture up, and it's like swinging a door open with this arm. The hinge is right here at the humerus, rolling up, rolling in, rolling out, rolling in. We're not pulling out to the side with our deltoids. We're going to keep this locked in and just rotate. And to make this hard, you just step out, get more tension in the band, make it easier to step in and get less tension in the band. But you want to be able to get to the end range with this band. So if you need to come in and it feels kind of loose, that's fine, as long as it's tight at the very end. And come back in. So we'll start here. Posturing up, I have my left hand here just to help remind my arm to be close to my side. 2, 3, we'll go to 10. This is burning pretty well. 4, going for a little bit of a burn, deep in the shoulder joint, beneath the deltoids, kind of on the back of your humerus. If you can bring your awareness to that area in your own body. If it starts to get a little tight and you need assistance, use your free hand to help pull the line out. And now you're at the end range still, and you just control it on the way back, working the negative, as they say. Pulling out, and working the negative, coming back. Still burning. Whew. Okay, that lit up my shoulder quite a bit. I'm going to do the other side. Bringing it nice and tight, find a good position to swing it open, and come back. 2, 3, taking your time, feeling that tension pull itself back. Do a couple more, again using my hand to assist, and then lowering with control. 1. Whew. And again, burning. Okay, shake that out. I'd recommend doing at least 2 to 3 sets of those 2 drills back and forth to help warm up the shoulders, get them even more open, and prepare the joints for what's about to come. The next step is just pretty easy. We're going to go right into it. You can, again, use lower handles or lower rings to incorporate more of a row. But we're going to do, again, pull-ups, and we're going to shoot for just really short number of repetitions, just so our form's correct with each repetition. You can put more effort, more focus into each rep. That way you're not expending too much energy and losing quality of your pull. So overhand grip, hang. We'll do this in steps, just like we did with the hang shrug. But we're going to add a pull-up to it. So we're going to take it in 4 steps, going up, and then up, and then down, and then down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice the movement in the shoulder blades first, going as high as I can with those, and then pulling with the arms. Coming back, put it on the brakes, and releasing the shoulder blades. 2 more. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. I would recommend a couple of sets chambering it like that so you get a feel for the different movements that occur in a pull-up. And then if you like, just flow right into it for, again, 3 to 5 repetitions. I'm going to grab some bands. So these are super bands or resistance bands. So you can find these basically anywhere online or in stores. The thickness of the band determines how much assistance they'll give you at full tension. So for example, this band is pretty thick. At full tension, it provides 100 pounds of assistance. But as it loses its tension, it gives less assistance. But at its very end range, it'll give you 100 pounds. So if you're using these for pull-ups and you have a hard time pulling out of the pocket in the bottom position, something like that's going to really help you get out of the bottom position. That way you can really work on getting a full pull-up and control the descent in order to work that bottom position. Similarly, if they have less thickness, so this one provides about 60 pounds of assistance at full tension, and this one about 40 to 50 pounds of assistance at full tension. Meaning, if I weigh 180 pounds, I use that band that's about 40 to 50 pounds, it'd be like I was pulling myself up if I only weighed 140 pounds. So you can kind of grade how well you're doing with those using the bands. Let's use one of these bands and show you how to hook it on. I'm trying to catch my breath as I'm talking too. It's really difficult. Take the band, And if you have a chair, I'd recommend using that. But if you just like to throw it over, get a loop going, and you're tall enough you can reach it, and pull it through, and pull one end of the loop through their loop so it tightens up on its own. And again, at full tension, it's going to provide about 40 pounds of assistance, but as it gets closer to the rings, that assistance is less. So there's a couple ways to get in the band. One is to step in, which I recommend. That way you have good control and your legs are in a long position, and you can cross their ankle over to keep the band in place. And all I'm going to do is set up the same way. Pulling up, pull the elbows, back down, and back down until I rest. Pull up, pull the elbows, down, and down. One more time, pull up, and up, down, and down. And that was a lot easier for me. I imagine it'd be a lot easier for you if you use the band. And you use the band to your benefit to really get, again, focus on getting quality reps. So if you're doing this without assistance, you're not quite getting up there, I would recommend using a band so you can get full retraction in the shoulder blades and really pull them back. Pull it nice and tight, nice and high, and go back down. Just to give yourself more time in those more difficult positions of the pull-up so you get conditioned for them, and it'll benefit your training as you go along.